But with that said, y'all know what time it is. My favorite time of the show.
Boom.
Cooley's rundown. Cooley, what's
The
going on in the
rundown.
wresling world?
What's
Talk
going
to
on
me,
in the
baby. Talk
world,
to me.
brother?
Talk
Hey,
to
yo,
me.
it's a lot going on in the wrestling world, and we're going to stay on this Judgment Day train. You know, we're going to stay on track, and we're going to talk about the IWC for a second, man. So, the IWC is very upset about the overexposure of the Judgment Day. Now, I will say that the IWC is very impatient. We all know this. They don't let anything play out. Me personally, I love what WWE is doing with the Judgment Day. I'm letting it ride out. And apparently everybody just fed up with these guys. They've been main eventing Raw for the past 3 months?
Yeah,
3 months.
every single show.
Everybody is tired of it. I'm with it.
I get it. Look, I understand the frustration because when you really think about it, it's like not only is Judgment Day dominating every single main event of Raw and the opening of Raw, but then the next day we got Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio dominating NXT opening and closing. So it's like, yo, Judgment Day is they pretty much replaced Bloodline. They're all over TV.
They hot.
But they hot. Like Cooley said, they hot. So I'm not mad at it, but I do understand the frustration. At the end of the day, we just got to realize that, look, this is 4 guys who hasn't really had their moment. We all know Dominic Mysterio was struggling on that main roster. We all hated him at one point, and now we love to hate him, which is a whole different type of that's a whole different type of love. Rhea Ripley, she was kind of bouncing around on the main roster before she really found her groove in this. And we know what it's been like with Finn Balor. He's been in and out. He got sent back down to NXT at one point because they just didn't have plans for him. So it's like these guys finally made their way to the top and got to a position where people are tuning in to see them. So let it rock out for a little bit. And also the IWC is a very small percentage of wrestling fans. Like it's a lot of wrestling fans. Like every wrestling fan has access to the internet, obviously. But every wrestling fan ain't on Twitter talking about it and on message boards interacting with it. Matter of fact, most wrestling fans probably don't interact with wrestling after the show ends. They keep it moving on to the next TV show. Facts. So we got to realize that the IWC ain't the end all be all. So WWE needs to ignore what they saying and keep doing what they doing.
I don't care about the IWC, man. They don't even know what they want. Like, what are you talking
and
about?
we're a part of the IWC, to be honest.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? What do you really want? Like, what do you want if, like, okay, cool. Judgment Day isn't a part of as much TV time as they've been on Raw. Now, what do you want? Like, what do you really want? Like, what's the alternative? There is no alternative because these guys are hot. That's what you do in wrestling. You take the hot thing and you keep showing it because it's hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't just take it off because you've had a lot of it. You don't just take Stone Cold Steve Austin off of TV because
the
IWC is tired of seeing him stun everybody at the end of every show. No, not at all. You don't do that. So, like, I just look at it as much as people are complaining, it's really just because everyone is just really unsatisfied with like how booking goes, right? And it's like, bro, the IWC is just one small percentage of a fracture of the fan base of people who actually watch wrestling. When you think about how you used to watch wrestling as a kid, you didn't have Twitter or anything to complain about. You were just enjoying the product, and you're just happy to be able to watch wrestling. So remember that. You know what I mean?
And you can never, if you want to run a successful wrestling business or a wrestling company, you can never bend to the IWC because you really can't please people who don't want to be pleased. You give the IWC what they want, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna ask for something else. And then when you give them that, they're gonna ask for something else. And the minute that you don't give them what they want, they're gonna scream and kick. So you can't bend to what they do. That's one of my problems with Tony Khan. I love Tony Khan. But a lot of the times he's too giving. He gives people what they want too soon and too quick. Sometimes you got to build your story. Don't just give them what they want every single time because then they're going to ask for more and they're never going to be pleased.
Never.
Hey, man, shout out to the Judgment Day, man. We see you. We believe in you. We see the vision, all right? So we're gonna take it to the next topic. Ava Raine made her WWE singles in-ring debut at a house show in Tampa, Florida. For those who don't
Good
know,
job.
Ava
Good
Rain.
job.
Ava Rain is The Rock's, aka the People's Champion's daughter. So she finally, in that ring, going crazy. She's been signed, I believe, 3 years now, because she was at the
Yeah.
PC, the Performance Center,
Mhm.
a couple years ago. So, yo, shout out to her.
Shout
Y'all
out to
feeling
Ava.
it?
I see big things. I see big things in her future. She doesn't have a whole lot of fans right now online. They be killing her every week for her promo ability and
Yeah.
her ring work. But at the end of the day, this is a young girl, man. We got to give her time to really get into her groove. And honestly, her character right now, as it is, it might be a little bit of a miscast because she's in some cult like faction called Schism.
Yeah.
And I don't like. We all know that's The Rock's daughter, so it's hard for us to look at someone that comes from The Rock and really see like a cold, weird, dark gimmick. Like it doesn't really make sense. But at the end of the day, she's just getting her feet wet in this. She got a long career ahead of her. So shout out to
Right.
her, man. I'm glad she debuted. Maybe one day she can join Zilla in this Bloodline faction.
Shouts to Ava, man. I do think that it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be tough for her because it's gonna be like a lot of unnecessary pressure. It's like the daughter of The Rock is
Yeah.
just really, really insane. I mean, I remember when Charlotte had the same, the same issues as well. Being
Mhm.
the daughter of Ric Flair, and she had to that's why I love Charlotte because she's not just good, like she's incredible. You know what I mean? She gets in that ring and it's just like undeniable. And I think Ava has a hell of a journey to go, and it's unfortunate that she has to be under the microscope. I mean, the whatever,
Microscope.
the microscope,
Microscope, bro.
Yeah, microscope. I was gonna say microscopic, but I'm saying that's not the term. It sucks that she has to be under the microscope of legacy because of The Rock, but she'll find her way, and I think that her promo skills are okay, not really great, but her in ring is pretty green, but she's just getting started, man, and just I think she's going to go as far as she needs to go,
Right.
and a big part of that is because of WWE. They're probably
Yeah, man. It's
let
tough
her
being
go.
under that spotlight. Ask Marcus and Jeffrey Jordan.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
tough.
Ronnie James. That's why
Yeah,
I'm
Ronnie,
kind of
man.
glad that they're not really playing into the whole Rock thing and they're just kind of letting her do her right now because that's a lot
Yeah.
of pressure to live up to.
Yeah.
Like Bronny James, like they call him Bronny, but his name is LeBron James
I be
Jr.
forgetting that.
Yeah.
I be
No,
forgetting that all the time.
That's tough.
crazy.
That's
It's
tough.
tough. Could call that nigga
LeBron, why you
Sam
do
or
that, bro?
For real, like why would you do
Why you
that
do
to
that,
that
bro?
boy, man?
Call him Sam or something, or
Yeah, man, that's
Josh.
crazy.
I
Yo,
don't know.
shout out Ava, man. So now this takes us to our next topic. Sylvan might hate this, but I'm gonna bring it up. Dana White
My phone.
addresses possible.
You know where he's going.
Mr. Dana White of UFC addresses possible Ronda Rousey return for UFC 300. Yo, what is going on? Is she returning or is it
not
cap?
happening.
I don't know.
It's big cap. It's big
Dana-
cap.
Dana
I'll
just
believe it when I
talking?
see it.
Dana just
Dana
talking.
just talking. He doing what he doing and promoting. But at the end of the day, we all know. Come on now. We all know. Ronda Rousey is never stepping foot in that octagon again. Her MMA career is done, just like her wrestling career. She's about to go sell off into the sunset, have some more kids with her husband, and let that be that.
I mean,
Ronda
I
Rousey
would
is not fighting again.
I would ask her on a DM, but her DMs is closed, and her tags are closed, so I can't ask, what's going on with her. So who knows, man?
Ronda
Who
be
knows?
running from the grind, man. Why are you running from the grind, Ronda? I had your back last time, but you running. You really
Maybe.
running.
Maybe Sylvan right, man.
I don't
running.
care. I don't care what Ronda does. Ronda, I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. Like, I don't care what you do, bro. Like, just stay far away from the sport that I love. Stay far away from wrestling because you're not wanted over here. Whatever
Okay,
you
you're
decide to
wildin'.
do, go do it.
You're
Go do that.
wildin'.
I don't care. Go sail a boat. Go learn how to play chess. Go be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? I don't know whatever you want. Like,
Whoa.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, go be a rapper. Do something. But
Hey,
like,
what would a
don't
Ronda 16 sound like? What would she
I
even
don't-
rap about?
probably rap about her career.
I don't know.
I don't know.
man.
You know what I mean? Or her family and how much she loves them. That's great.
She'll
I
come
don't
on some
know.
sexy red.
I don't know. It might be like
You know
Woe
what I
Vicky
mean?
or something. I don't know.
It could be. You know what I mean?
Shout
Go
out
do
Wo
something,
Vicky, man.
but
Where Wo
don't
Vicky at?
don't come around here no more, yo. Like I don't come around here. And if you go to the UFC, who cares? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what you do. Just stay far away from the sport that I love, because I don't want you over there. That's all I got.
Clearly, you know.
Yeah, you suck.
Sylvan not down
Get outta here.
with the
Beat
Ronda train, you know. So hey,
Shout out.
good luck to you. We gonna see if it's true or not in the upcoming weeks.
Beat it, Ronda.
But let's spin it back to Gunther. We was talking about Gunther earlier. Someone had mentioned about his match with Gable. Now WWE hit the fans with the ultimate swerve. Chad Gable beat Gunther. Like, what is going on? It caught
that was
everybody.
shocking.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on. Is this setting up for a possible IC title match at Payback? I don't know what's going on. It's just confusing, y'all.
That seems to be the belief right now, that Chad Gable might be the one to defeat Gunther. I don't see it, but if he is, shout out to Chad Gable, man. It couldn't go to a more deserving person. He's been on that main roster for what, damn near 10 years now. He's only had tag team title runs. He's never had a singles championship. So if Chad Gable is the one to defeat Gunther, I'm here for it. And shout out to Samantha Irwin for her announcing in a way that she says Chad Gable's name. That's so hilarious. She'd be like, Chad Gable. She's great, man. She's the way she said Giovanni Vinci.
Yeah, she's fine.
I love
she be sitting down too. She be sitting down.
Yeah, she be bodying that. She be bodying
running
this thing, man. Shout out
And
to
I love
her.
how she on the Instagram she do the videos when she's doing it live and she's like talking. I'm like, that's fire, bro.
She
I'm
be
like,
like,
damn, you
dancing
got
to
it
the
like that?
theme
I can't do all
song,
that.
and,
Like,
man, she's cool. She's fire. She's fire. But yeah,
that's
Chad Gable,
insane.
man. How you
Look,
feeling?
man,
Oh, shout out Chad.
I mean, give it to Chad, man. Like y'all can't pump fake like this and not give it to Chad. And I don't think you should get it at Payback. I think you should get it down the line. I think it should be. I think if he is gonna go at Gunther at Payback, it should be a disqualification, so we can protect Gable. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And then actually go to another pay-per-view that matters a little bit more, and have Gunther lose to Gable. Like, let's make this a real feud. Let's make this a real bloodbath. We're taking two people and two factions that are about excellency, and let's see who's more excellent. And let's pass the torch over to Gable properly right after Gunther beats the record for the Honky Tonk Man. And let's start a new era. If you're going to tease this, like, let's do it right. Now, if he just loses and he moves on to somebody else,
which is probably going to
happen, I'll be highly disappointed. But I would like to see this fleshed out in a very real way. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, and Chad is a funny name, by the way. I'm sorry for anybody out there named Chad, but your name is funny. Chad. Why they do that, boy? Like that? Chad.
I don't know.
Chad.
You know, Chad Muska, one of my favorite skaters. His name's
Chad.
Shout
out to Chad Muska. Chad Muska reference on the wrestling podcast with 3 black guys.
That's my dog.
Wow, we're insane.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, man. Hey, let's take it across the hall real quick. At AEW, Billy Gunn.
Look, Sylvan sick already. Look at this man. Look, he's already bothered by that 80K. Again.
80K. Let's talk about Billy Gunn, man. So, first of all, Billy Gunn left his boots in the ring. I want to say it was following a loss on Collision to House of Black.
Mm-hmm.
It was about a month ago. And he just randomly returns on Dynamite as Badass Billy Gunn. I don't know, y'all. WWE might want to call their lawyers because I'm confused. Can't he use that name? Like, what's going on here?
You know what?
I don't
Cooley,
think
I was having the same thought as you, funny, because I remember when Billy Gunn was he was in TNA Impact. And his name was Kip James or something like that because he couldn't really go by Billy Gunn or Badass Billy Gunn anymore. So what changed? Why is all of a sudden, why is he back to Badass Billy Gunn? That's like nuts.
Yeah,
WWE let that slip off?
He needs to retire, man.
I thought he did.
Me too.
I thought he did.
You need to retire for real.
I think so. It's looking like he's going to be a part of the match with the Acclaimed versus House of Black at Wembley. And it's looking like that's going to be his final match. So at least he'll get his goodbye in front of 80,000 people and not just on a random Collision. So I'm not mad at it.
All right, that's not bad.
Go away.
Okay, that's
come
not
back
bad.
And get your go away match. And then
As
Fell
bad
off
as
in the
Billy Gunn,
sunset.
he probably got the
That's
cosign from
a legend.
WWE to be able to use
Right.
it.
He might pop up with the lips on his tights. Remember that? Like,
Oh, that would be
pause.
I'm a
crazy,
masked
bro.
man.
Yeah, he might pop up with that. Hey, Tony Khan, man. Tony Khan bread is long. I
Yo.
wouldn't be surprised if he paid for that theme. Like,
Yo,
who
that would be
knows?
insane, man.
I'm with it, though.
Shouts to Billy Gunn, man.
I'm saying.
Shouts to
If you're
Billy
really
Gunn.
retiring at Wembley, you know what I'm saying? Great career. I'm sorry The Rock didn't put you over, man. But, great career, bro.
Hall of
Side
Famer.
note,
Hall of Fame.
side
Hall
note,
of Famer.
side note, the Guns got one of the best interests at AEW, man. That shit's so
Yo.
fire.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
I don't care what the
That is
IWC
dope,
says.
bro.
I love them dudes.
I love the Guns, bro.
I love the Gun.
They dope.
They're
man.
fire.
But speaking of retirement, we're gonna bring it back and take it to another legend.
Ooh.
Edge, man. Our main Edge has fulfilled his contract, which is done in September. And supposedly a lot of blogs were saying that he was signing to AEW, but he just recently put out a video saying he has an extension contract by WWE in his
Of
email.
course he does.
And
So it's a lot going on. Me personally, I believe that Edge should retire. I feel like he's at peace because he's going out at his own terms, and he did it in front of his hometown in Canada. So that's just my, that's my thought on that.
I agree
love
with that.
Edge.
I love Edge too. That final SmackDown appearance was everything. The way they played it up the entire night, had appreciation for his entire career. That was fire. There's no better way to go out than that. Now I will say, I don't know about the match with Sheamus. It was fire. Don't get me wrong. It was an incredible match. But for Edge's final match as a professional wrestler, I would like to see that against someone that he kind of had history with. Like maybe Randy Orton or John Cena, even Christian, something. Sheamus just seems like a random opponent. And I know they tried to give us the backstory of how Sheamus got him to unretire or whatever. But at the end of the day, we ain't see that on TV. So it just came off as Edge versus Sheamus. And that's just not the retirement match that we wanted. So I don't know about that. But overall, it was a good show, and it's a good way to go out. So if this is it for Edge, hey, more power to you. You a legend. Hall of Famer.
Legend.
Look, no. Absolutely not. No.
No, what?
Like, who wants
Bro.
to, I don't want Edge's last match to be on a SmackDown against
In Toronto,
Sheamus.
though. And
In
it was like
Toronto.
14,000 people there. It was
Bro,
a big
no,
audience.
No,
That's his
this is
home,
Edge
man.
we're talking about, man. Like, I don't care, bro. Like, it's random. It's on a SmackDown. It's on a SmackDown, bro. Like, I don't want you retiring on a SmackDown against Sheamus, bro. Like, not at all. I think his main confliction right now is with the fact that his body is really, really hurt. And I don't think he can do this at a high level right now. And I also think he is kind of like going back and forth with the fact that, like, honestly, there is Edge and Christian and how much that means to him in his retirement, right? So I think he's just deliberating his options. Now, do I think he's going to AEW? No. Do I think he's considering it heavily? I think he is. I think just because of Christian Cage. That's the only reason why I could see him considering
That'll
it.
be fire.
But the reality,
I would love it, but
because I'm like, all right, there's a part of me that's like, okay, I could see Edge signing to AEW or doing a one-off match with Christian to retire his career, right? I could see that. So maybe there's some type of thought process in his head. But I think the real issue is the fact that he really isn't 100% anymore. And it's getting to a point where, like, him wrestling is really hard.
I mean, how old is he? He got to be like
bro,
50
he's 50.
something?
He's 50, like 50 or 51.
Oh,
wrestling
yeah.
forever.
Yeah, and the level that he's doing it at is pretty high. And so I think he's just kind of like, bruh, like, I don't really know if I can continue doing this. And Mania is like a year away. Like
Right.
a year or 9 months, like 10 to 11 months away. So to sign that extension would be like, it had to be very limited, So I think he's just kind of deliberating whether or not, like, it's just best to call it quits right now, or if he wants to go off on a high note, and how he wants that, because ultimately that's also factoring into his contract. Who's he
Look,
retiring against?
I can say that I definitely don't see the AEW thing. Edge seems to me like the type of person that is super loyal to WWE because they stood by him when he had to retire. They took care of him. They gave him network shows on the WWE network. So I can't see him being like, all right, y'all, I'm about to go over here and do the thing with the competitor. Like, there's no way. Edge loves WWE. He's not going nowhere.
And they let him be in bed in the middle of a ring with his girl in front of thousands of fans. Like, who does
live,
that?
what was it? The live sex celebration? That was insane.
That was the craziest thing.
Yo, he slapped John Cena's pops, bro.
I still can't believe he did that, man. But yeah, shout out to Edge. Man. We'll see what happens.
Shout out to Edge, man.
We'll see what happens.
I
wonder how his
wait,
before we get off Edge, I just want to say I really wonder how his run would have went had Cody Rhodes not got injured. Because remember when Edge brought up the Judgment Day thing, he was the leader, but then Cody Rhodes, he tore his pec, and that's really what led to Edge turning back babyface and leaving the Judgment Day, and then having a lot more matches than he probably was supposed to at the time. Yep. So like I really wonder how that all would have played out had Cody Rhodes never been injured. It probably would have been so much different.
I don't know, but if he does have his final match at Mania, it needs to be against Cena.
Facts.
It needs to be against Cena, and it just needs to be a great, because that was in my opinion, his greatest
nemesis.
Edge versus Cena. A lot of people say against Orton, like Orton and not Orton and Edge. But
we don't even know if Orton can walk right now. So
yeah, a lot of people say Cena and Orton was their like arch nemesis, but I don't believe that. For me, it was Cena and Edge were like was like Stone Cold and The Rock to me.
Facts.
So
facts.
Yeah.
Shout out Edge, man. Shout out Edge, man. Now, Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle. Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle has joined forces, y'all. Just fine. And they call them McRiddle.
It's hard.
They call him McRiddle, bro.
McRiddle, bro.
It's hard.
McRiddle. I'm not gonna hold you.
Hey, yo. Hey, how long y'all guys think this gonna last, man? That's crazy.
It needs to.
I think this is gonna work. I know that. Look, people laughing at this right now, but I think it's gonna work. The crowd was into it. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
McRiddle.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre.
Until Orton comes back.
Right.
I think Orton is done, bro.
Oh, don't say that.
He's really done. I don't think. I mean, I want Orton to come back, but I think he's done. I don't think he's coming back.
I do too. And a part of me feels like Drew might turn on Riddle, but I saw something recently saying that Drew McIntyre does a lot for Make-A-Wish Foundation, and because of that, he doesn't want to turn heel because he loves the work that he does with the kids. So if that's the case, then I get it. And maybe this is just what they're gonna be rocking with for a little while. McRiddle. I'm not mad at it.
If WWE tells Drew that he need to be like Michael Jordan and say F them kids, he's turning heel.
He gonna say F
and
them kids.
Orton is gonna come back and save his friend. Let's go, baby.
That's what you think. Man. Well, what's really about to happen is Orton is gonna retire because he can't do it anymore. And McRiddle is about to be over as hell. Look, Drew McIntyre, I think Drew McIntyre is pretty good. I don't really care for him, as a wrestler, just in terms of preference. But the guy is incredible in ring. He's incredible on the mic. He's over with the fans. He's a one of a kind specimen. He's a generational talent. You can't get over. You can't. Despite whatever position he's in, he comes out of that ring and people are clamoring for him, top dog. And so you put him with Matt Riddle, and you already see the reaction. He's over. They're over. They are over immediately, man. And they got a chemistry. So, and McRiddle is pretty funny, bro. I'm here for it. So let them
just
ride,
don't bring that sword anywhere near the ring,
bro. He cut the ropes, bro. Bro, he cut the ropes, bro. What's going on?
That sword gives me anxiety, dog. For real.
I'm saying, keep that at home. Let's not bring that back. Let's not bring that back. But yeah, I'm here for McRiddle. Why not,
man?
Why
not? Shout out to McRiddle, man.
This definitely screams we had nothing for either guy, though. It definitely screams we didn't know what to do with him or him. So let's just put them together.
Yeah, right. They keeping Drew far away from that, far away from the World Heavyweight Championship for a while.
Right, and they're feuding with the Viking Raiders. It just screams we didn't know what to do.
Yeah, keep them
Yeah,
up, but they're
man.
over. So
Hey,
Yeah,
it is what it
over
is.
as hell. Yeah. And you know, the last thing I have on the rundown is Terry Funk. You know, rest in peace to a wrestling legend. Died at 79 years old. I can tell you my earliest memory of Terry Funk. It happened in 1994, actually, but I was only 4 years old, so clearly I watched it a little later when I was a kid.
Right.
It was at Hardcore Heaven. Bruh, it was so crazy. It was like the craziest thing ever. It was at ECW. Public Enemy came and interfered his match with Cactus Jack. And then they
Public
said,
Enemy.
bring in the chairs. So, you know, the crowd threw chairs into the ring. And then
And
out of nowhere,
everyone-
the whole crowd started throwing hella chairs in the ring. Terry Funk, he faked the headshot and went down, and he was, you know, playing. I'm like, it was crazy, bruh. To the point where Public Enemy was
Yo.
covered in chairs. Like, it was insane. That was like the craziest memory I can recall of wrestling, like of all time, bro. It was crazy.
Right. Like
What
I
in the
remember
world
that
was that,
moment.
bro?
I forgot
Yeah.
all about that until you brought it up. I just remember
Crazy.
everybody just throwing chairs in the ring.
Bruh,
That visual
it's
was
on YouTube.
insane.
Go look it up,
Yeah.
y'all.
I
People
still
are
think of
sick too, man.
Bruh.
Yo, I still think of Terry Funk doing that crooked ass moonsault off that ladder and landing on Sandman and I want to say was it Stevie Richards? I think it might have been BWO Stevie Richards. Like that was the most crooked old moonsault I've ever seen. But Terry Funk hit that. He hit that hoe. He did it. Yo, rest in peace, Terry Funk, man.
Yeah,
Yo, rest in peace to Terry Funk, man. Terry Funk. For me, Terry Funk was the reason why Mick Foley could become Mick Foley. And you know, somebody who's been around that long, who was able to have a second win of a career in the hardcore era and be respected as a heel in the capacity that he was before then, but then being a hardcore legend and pushing boundaries in a way that nobody else could. And, you know, quite possibly being the instrumental reason why Mick Foley could become Mick Foley, man. I mean,
Right.
like, rest in peace, brother. A full life.
Facts.
You know what I mean? My condolences and my prayers go with your family and loved ones.
The whole family. And his protege, Tommy Dreamer, man. You know, prayers to him.
Man, big TD, man.
Yeah.
Chainsaw Charlie. Y'all remember that Chainsaw Charlie?
I remember Chainsaw Charlie,
Chainsaw.
man.
I was like, what is this? Yeah,
that
rest in
was
peace,
sick.
man. Rest in peace, Terry Funk.